Betrayal, Boundaries, and Becoming Unbreakable. A woman walks into a courtroom carrying the weight of betrayal on her back and walks out with $1.7 million. But this story was never about the money. It's about what happens when your entire reality shatters and you choose to rise anyway. Today, we're exploring the Akira Montague case, not through the lens of gossip, but through the lens of growth, through the lens of becoming unbreakable. Because here's the truth. Life will hand every one of us a moment that cracks us open, a moment where someone we trust becomes the source of our deepest pain. But what defines you is not the betrayal, it's who you become after. So let's talk about emotional sovereignty, boundaries, rebuilding your identity, and turning your hardest moment into the start of your highest chapter. If you're new here, this space is about one thing: becoming the strongest, most aligned, most elevated version of yourself. And the Akira Montague case is one of the rawest, realest examples of someone being publicly broken, but refusing to stay broken. Today, I'm breaking down 8 powerful self-growth lessons from this situation. Lessons about betrayal, boundaries, identity, and personal evolution. This isn't about sides. This is about waking up to your worth, understanding human behavior, and learning how to stay rooted in your truth even when life tries to pull you under. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Healing after betrayal and emotional shock. Betrayal is not just emotional, it's biological. It hits your nervous system like a car crash. Your safe person becomes your threat. Your body goes into survival mode before your mind can even catch up. Akira didn't just lose her marriage, she lost the version of herself that existed before the truth came out. And one of the hardest parts of betrayal is not the pain, it's the self-doubt. You don't just lose trust in them, you lose trust in yourself. How did I miss this? What does this say about me? But here's the healing truth. 1. You can't think your way out of betrayal trauma. Your body has to process it. Breathwork, grounding, movement, this is somatic healing. 2. Your worth is not determined by someone else's choices. Their wounds are not your reflection. 3. Rebuilding starts with self-trust. Your intuition didn't fail you. You were just loyal in places you shouldn't have been. Akira's lawsuit wasn't revenge. It was reclamation. It was saying, I refuse to shrink. I refuse to disappear. I will not be silent about what hurt me. Naming the wound is the first step in healing. Lesson 2. Accountability versus blame. There is a massive energetic difference between blame and accountability. Blame keeps you stuck in the story. Accountability moves you forward. Blame says, look what you did to me. Accountability says, you caused harm and I choose to respond from my power. And that's what Akira did. Not to punish, but to honor her truth. The growth lesson is this: when someone crosses your boundaries, you have 3 roads. 1. Internalize it, turn the pain inward. 2. Externalize it, stay reactive, let rage guide you. 3. Alchemize it, take aligned, grounded action that restores your dignity. That third option is the path of the higher self. It's not about winning, it's about reclaiming your life force. Lesson 3. The power of boundaries. This entire case is about a boundary that was not just crossed, it was shattered. But boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about defining what you will and will not accept. People think boundaries push others away. They don't. Walls push people away. Boundaries protect your peace. 3 boundaries every high self version of you needs. Physical boundaries, your time, your body, your space. Emotional boundaries, your vulnerability, your truth. Energetic boundaries, your peace, your focus, your mental freedom. If you're exhausted, drained, resentful, or numb, you don't have a people problem, you have a boundary problem. Akira's lawsuit was a spiritual boundary as much as a legal one. It was her saying, I matter. My family matters. My pain matters. That is what boundaries look like in real life. Lesson 4. Public shame, judgment, and staying grounded. Imagine going through your deepest heartbreak while the internet dissects your soul. Akira faced judgment, harassment, threats, and yet she stayed grounded in her truth. This is emotional mastery. This is sovereignty. The lesson? You cannot build your peace on the foundation of public opinion. If you do, you'll crumble every time the wind shifts. How to stay centered when the world is loud. Anchor in your truth. Your truth is your home. Protect your energy. Limit the noise. Unplug. breathe. Create inner safety. What you internalize becomes your reality. The mantra, their opinions are projections. My truth is my anchor. Lesson 5, the shadow side of social media. Brené didn't just have an affair, she flaunted it online. That is not confidence, that is unhealed ego. Social media can amplify the shadow, the part of us that craves attention, validation, significance. When people feel empty inside, they reach outward. When people don't feel seen, they perform. When people don't feel whole, they harm. This isn't about judging her. It's about recognizing what unhealed wounds look like in all of us. Ask yourself, where am I seeking validation instead of healing? Where am I performing instead of being real? Where am I craving attention instead of connection? Social media is a tool, but without self-awareness, it becomes a mask for the wounded self. Lesson 6, trauma, identity, and reinvention. Betrayal doesn't just break your heart, it breaks your identity. The version of you who trusted dies. The version of you who believed in that future dies, and a new you has to be born. This is the moment most people fear, but this is the moment your evolution begins. Real transformation follows this path. 1. Grieve the old identity. Don't rush your own funeral. 2. Sit in the void. This is where the old is gone and the new hasn't arrived yet. It's uncomfortable, but it's sacred. 3. Rebuild intentionally. This time, you get to choose who you become, not from fear, but from alignment. Akira's in her reinvention era, not just surviving the storm, but using it to level up her identity. Lesson 7, turning pain into purpose. Pain becomes power the moment you own your story, and that's what Akira did. She didn't hide. She didn't shrink. She turned her experience into a voice for women who felt silenced. But here's the part people skip. You can't jump from pain to purpose without processing the pain. You have to feel to heal. You have to heal to transform. And you have to transform before you can lead. Your pain holds wisdom. Your pain holds clarity. Your pain holds power. Ask yourself, what is the lesson my pain is trying to teach me? How can this experience refine me instead of define me? Your wound can become your contribution. Your story can become your strength. Lesson 8. Values, integrity, and the cost of choices. Tim and Brené didn't lose because they were bad people. They lost because they were disconnected from their values. The truth is simple. Short-term pleasure can destroy long-term peace. Every choice you make shapes the version of you that's waiting in your future. Ask yourself, am I acting from my higher self or my wounded self? Will this choice age well? Is this aligned with who I'm becoming? Integrity is alignment. Integrity is honoring your future self. Integrity is listening to the version of you who already knows better. So what's the real lesson in the Akira Montague case? It's not about the affair. It's not about the verdict. And it's not about the money. It's about this one truth. Life will break you, but you get to decide whether you stay broken. Akira chose evolution. She chose empowerment. She chose to let the hardest chapter of her life build a stronger version of herself. Your challenge this week. Pick one area where you will. Set a boundary. Reclaim your power. Choose integrity over impulse. Because your transformation doesn't begin when things get easier. It begins the moment you decide you're worth standing up for. If this resonated, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which lesson hit you the hardest. And remember, your pain is not the ending of your story. It is the beginning of your evolution. I'll see you in the next one.